mate, thanks for moving me to the top of your to-do list. I appreciate that your time is valuable, so I'm going to cut straight to the chase. The Debt Terminator software is a simple Excel spreadsheet that allows you to put your own numbers into it so you can play some what-if games with your finances. The idea is that you get out of debt ASAP, and 6 years is pretty doable for most people. And when you pull it off and you pay out your house and your car 10 or 15 years ahead of schedule, well, that'll save you maybe 100 monthly payments on your mortgage. Now, if they're at whatever the rate they are, then for most people, that's going to turn out to be a couple of $100,000. So this thing's not to be sneezed at. Now, for ease of understanding, we're going to fill your screen up right now with a worked fictional example. So it's by from me, at least a vision, you'll just hear my voice from now on.
Okay, so here we are with our hypothetical. So this person's got an ANZ credit card with perhaps a limit of $10,000 on it. The current balance is $5,900. They're paying $330 per month as a minimum payment, and the same for their National Australia credit card, National Australian Bank credit card. $7,100 is the balance. They're paying $340. Personal loan, their car, $20,000. The current balance is $10,000, paying $490 a month, which you'll see the payments of $490 a month are closer to what you'd be paying on a $20,000 loan. What we're saying is that the balance has been reduced down to $10,000. Same for the house, borrowed a bit more than that. We've made some progress, etc. So current balances or current owings total $194,230, and the minimum payments on that are $4,050 per month. When you have a look at this, the ratio between these two amounts in red is pretty much set up by the bank, because nobody's going to give you a loan without telling you how much the repayments per month need to be. So were you to add more properties into this, in other words, if you had several houses here, investment properties, or you had several cars, or you had more credit cards or whatever, you just put them all in there. And what you'll find is that it doesn't actually matter how much you owe, because this is all about ratios and how they work with each other. So stick with me here, because what we're going to do is give you this proposal. If you could find an extra $100 a week, would you do it if you could be debt-free in the next 6 years? And most people are going to say yes. So to do that, you might have to go and pull beers in a pub, you might have to mow lawns on the weekend, you might have to do whatever. Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter, because you can either find it out of wastage by drinking less or smoking less or whatever it is, or you can actually produce that extra. But $100 a week, we're going to call it the Debt Terminator amount. It's the next column there. And if we converted it to a monthly amount, because there are 4.3 weeks in a month, then it'd be $430 per month that you'd be able to apply to this debt terminator situation. So we're going to say put all your eggs in one basket, put the $430 onto any one of these situations except for the house. So we're just going to start at the top. You could do it any way that you wanted to, but the whole $430, along with the $330 minimum payment, goes onto that credit card. So we're going to pay $760 that month on that credit card. Now, if we keep doing that, and this is the idea, is you keep finding the 100 a week or the 430 per month, if you keep doing that, then in just under 8 months, that credit card will have a balance of zero. What you're able to do then is apply that $760 per month that you no longer need to apply to the ANZ credit card. So if we're to take that $760 that's now extra, and rather than spend it, apply it to a reduction of some of our other debt, and we just move to the next one on the list. So you'll see we're not paying any interest here or any attention to the interest rates here. They don't really bother us at this point because we're going to go so fast. But you could start on the higher interest rate loans if you wanted to. So we're going to pay our $760, which is no longer required for the ANZ credit card, along with the $340 we're committed to paying to the National Bank, which means that those two together mean we're paying $1,100 per month, and in just under 7 months, then the National Australia Bank credit card is going to join your ANZ credit card, either chopped up and in the rubbish or frozen in a Tupperware in your freezer. And the idea of it being in the freezer is you've still got the credit limit, you're still approved for all that credit, but you can't get at it quickly, which for many of us is actually the key thing. Now, $1,100 a month spare is a significant amount of money. Anybody with half a brain can see that this would be a pretty good party every month. But if you resist the temptation to spend it, and you put it on the personal loan along with the 190 then that you were committed to paying beforehand anyway, that means 1,290 gets paid on the personal loan, and in just under 3 months the personal loan is reduced to zero, and now we've got something significant to do with the car, because if we take the $1,290 that has been applied as an extra onto the personal loan and we take that and we put it onto the car, and we pay that along with the $490 that we were committed to paying on the car, then what it means is we're going to pay $1,780 per month on the car, and what that means is in just under 6 months we paid the car off. Now my recommendation is that you take the car to the mechanic, get the mechanic to make sure that car lasts for a little while, because we've just got one last goal to kick and then we're permanently totally free. So rather than go and get a new car, because the bank will ring you up or the finance company will ring you up, when you pay $1,780 on your car instead of $490, they're going to ring you up and say, hey, we've pre-approved you for a new loan, you can go get a new car. And many of us are tempted to do that. So I'm going to say resist that temptation, get the $1,780, pay it on the house along with the $2,700 that you were paying in the first place anyway. That means $4,480 per month goes onto your mortgage. And I'll tell you what, mate, I don't care what the interest rate on your mortgage is, you are going to make massive progress at that point, because in 37 and a half months, the house is yours. All up, if you look at that, that's a total of 59.7 months, just under 6 years, and a staggering thing. In fact, close to 5 years, you can work it out for yourself. 5 12s are 60, so in this example it's 5 years. You might take a bit longer, you might take a bit less, it doesn't really matter. The thing that most people don't see when they look at this is a couple of things. The first is, obviously if you pay your house off early, then there's a number of years where you're not making that monthly payment. If you add that up, it's going to push towards 100 or perhaps 200,000. So that's an amazing amount of money that you don't have to earn. Secondly, once you get all this stuff paid off, you can do what you like, because essentially, if you were to keep driving the car, and maybe you do need a new one by then, and stick with the house paid off, then you've got $4,480 per month that you can put into whatever investment strategy that you want to employ, and that way your money starts working for you instead of you working for the money. So have a go. The software that you've downloaded has all of the formulas in there, so that when you plug your own numbers in, it'll just work through it like that, and it'll give you the what-if scenario. You can change the amount in the Debt Terminator. You can do all sorts of things, and just fiddle around with it and see if you can find your own form of motivation to go and absolutely blitz it.
So there you go. As I said, what most people don't understand is all of those payments that you don't have to make any longer can now be fed into your investment strategy, whatever that might be. That means that your money will start to work for you instead of you working for your money. Good luck with it. And here's an opportunity that very few people ever get a chance at. If you'd like your very own copy of my book, How I Went from Sweet FA to 10 million a year in 18 months, for free, well, you can get it right now for a limited time by clicking on that link right there. But before you go, understand this. This book represents my life's work on money and the money game that we play in our head. It's devoted to the head trip that any wealth accumulator has to take if they're going to both make the money and keep it. It's an awesome read, even if I say so myself. But the price is going back to $37 sooner rather than later. So grab it now while you can. Bye.